Hello, we're here at the 2013 London International Wine Fair at Excel. My name is Chris Powell from Local Wine School, and we're joined here today by Patrick McGrath of Hatch Mansfield. And just like to...
Good morning, Chris.
Can you tell us, Patrick, a bit more about your company and what you do exactly?
So we are a wine importer. We represent a number of brands around the country, looking after the whole of UK, Northern Ireland, brands like Tassinger, Villa Maria, Erasmus from Chile, Louis Jadot from Burgundy, Cunet from Spain, brands from South Africa. So we have a fairly narrow, tight portfolio of brands, all sitting at a price point on a shelf in a retail shop of a supermarket, probably generally between £8 and £20. Some brands we have sort of 10 lines, some other brands like Louis Jadot, we probably sell over 100 lines in the UK. Big focus on the on-trade, hotels and restaurants, and we will generally try and sell 20-25% of our wines in hotels and restaurants, and then obviously in all the most of the major supermarkets, independents, Obbins, those sort of accounts.
And does your company do anything specific about, or what does your company do to try and engage consumers and excite them about wine? Do you do anything
We
specific?
do all our sort of consumer work with the retailers or the wholesalers, because we don't trade direct with consumers ourselves. But we would work very strongly with like Majestic, Waitrose, Tesco, attending their wine shows, their wine fairs. We've done quite a lot of work with the likes of Tesco in terms of wine education. We've helped to try and demystify wine. Obviously, we do everything we can, the simple things like getting the back labels right, giving consumers as much information as possible. Then in terms of the on-trade, my team and all of us do a lot of wine dinners. So working with our various wholesalers around the country, we do wine dinners, wine lunches, all trying to demystify wine. And in my view, trying to take some of the fear out of wine. I think a lot of the problems is there's too much, excuse my French, bullshit talked about wine. And actually you need to try and say to people, understand the grape varieties, understand the regions, and just give them the basic building blocks to sort of decode it so people don't get scared about wine. Personally, I'm always a bit nervous about people making too much about the food and wine link, because I think it can put people off. Sure, there are some golden rules, but I think too much is, in many cases, made about the food and wine link. And people think, help, I can't drink that because I'm not having that. And actually, it doesn't help. Yeah.
Great. And do you think there's anything that the UK wine trade should be doing more of, or how could they do it better?
It's more education. It's more education. I think it's the whole of the wine industry, and led particularly now, I think, by the rise of good quality independent wine merchants, going out there, doing wine fairs, wine shows, tastings in stores, sort of things that like Waitrose and Majestic, Tesco have done very well for a long time. Sainsbury's has put a lot more emphasis on these sort of things. And I think that is very important. It's trying to engage with the consumer and trying to make wine less intimidating. That's the most important thing that I think we've got to do.
And you mentioned Tesco there. Is that via their wine fairs?
But through their wine fairs, and obviously you've got Wine Club. Obviously all the major retailers now have got a huge amount of emphasis on the online. We hear the Morrisons are just relaunching their whole very sophisticated, good online operation. And that can help give consumers more confidence and take some of the sort of fear factor and almost some of the snob factor out of wine.
Yeah, totally agree.
I think that's really important.
Right.